What's good, guys? Xavier here, and we are here for episode 5 of Layman in the morning. You already know what's going on. Um, a lot to talk about. Not really, but we're just gonna get through this per usual. I'm recording. The camera is going. Every time I turn this camcorder, a little inside baseball, a little inside baseball here. I turn the camera on. As though first I wake up. First I wake up, right? I'm just in my drawers, in bed, realize it's Saturday. And I'm like, I look to the heavens and shake my fist, and I'm like, God damn it, I gotta record another podcast. But you know what? It's all good. I'm doing this just to keep my sanity, even if no one's watching. I think that makes me feel a little bit better. The fact that no one's watching this, because it's really just me losing my mind or trying not to, just trying to find that balance. But here's the you know what? My first episode has like 34 views now. So whoever's watching that shit. Get a life. No, I'm playing. Um, guess if anyone's checking this out in general, appreciate it. But find something better to do. Definitely. Um, we're just getting into it. I'm gonna show y'all how I'm coming, and I'm prepared. I got my water. Remember on that last episode that you didn't see, I said I had to get some water, cause your boy gets parched from spitting all these cold hard gibberish. I'm gonna show y'all how I'm coming though. And it's not that type of coming. You don't have to shield your eyes, but I'm coming the other way though. Y'all gonna know. Y'all gonna know. Y'all gonna know today. We just gonna start it this way, bro. We just vibing. We're just vibing. I don't even think I'm gonna talk. I might dance to this for an hour, bro. Hold up. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. It's just a vibe. It's just some vibes for you for that ass, bro. It's just some vibes, dog. The delegations are just gonna ease us through this awful podcast, bro. We're just kind of relaxing, and this intro is slightly longer than I thought it would be. But you know what? We're just here. We're here for the ride. Hey, hey. I don't have a job. Hey, I don't have a job. Hey, going through my savings. What? Oh shit. Whatever you're going through, just play this. You gotta. You can hit the Carlton to this. You just gotta do it a little slower. You gotta get those T-Rex arms. I brought my wallet with me. I don't know. I brought my wallet. I'm just gonna set it right here. Ooh! How can you be upset to this, bro? Come on, bro. Pandemic, bodies are burning in the street, people are beating up Asians, which should definitely stop still, but just play this, bro. Come on, bro. Hey, alright, hold on. One last thing. We're done. That's enough of the delegations. We're done here. I thank you for watching Layman in the Morning. This has been Xavier. My mom's coming downstairs. She's watching me lose my mind right now. But you already know that's how we're coming, bro. That's how we're coming. We're all just trying not to lose our minds, and sometimes you just gotta play the delegations just to get through this shit, bro. It's just so insecure because my mom's watching me through the door right now, but we're just getting through it. What's going on? She's just gonna watch me do this pod now. Thank God. Thank God, exactly what I needed. Just an early morning podcast with my mom watching me for an hour. How have you guys been? What you guys been up to? I kind of just been chilling. Biggest thing with me, my short film is out, and I'm actually actively pretending that my mom's not at the door staring at me right now. She's making this so awkward, and she knows what she's doing. But we're just gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep going. I'm not uncomfortable right now. I think the biggest thing with me is that my short film is out, and she's dancing behind the door right now. It's a screen door, so I can see everything that she's doing, and it's just throwing off the vibes, bro. Um, but damn, I got a short film out. My first short film. Oh boy, let's talk about it for just a little bit. As I mentioned earlier, when I was shucking and jiving, well, not that. When I was dancing, when I was freely dancing, unshackled dancing to the delegations. I talked about how I didn't have a job and everything, and that's what my short film is about, basically. I feel like I'm saying this a lot lately, just joking about being unemployed, but it's one of those things where it's like I feel like the more I say it, the more it's like the more it dilutes the seriousness of it. But also I feel like it's obnoxious or whatever. But I'm not telling anybody but myself on these videos. But anyway, um, I have a short film out. It's called Stuck. If anybody stumbles across this podcast, if all three of y'all viewers stumble across this podcast, just check the last video I uploaded. That's gonna be it. The short film Stuck, in parentheses, my first short film, because that's what it is. It's my first short film, and not to toot my own horn here, but I was a little proud of it. I'm a little proud of it. I don't know what else to say. And I worked very hard on it. Here's the thing. I'll give y'all some behind the scenes. Well, I guess I'll preface with the plot. The plot is basically, I mean, I mentioned it already, but I got laid off of my job, and I'm gonna keep saying that. We're tired of me saying it. We're all exhausted. Like Xavier, we know thousands of Americans been laid off from their job, but I'm just a statistic now. I'm one of many. And I think I mentioned this in my last pod too, but a couple days after that happened, I was just kind of brainstorming and just just basking, just laying back in my in depression. I just ran a bathtub full of depression and let that run cold, and I kind of just sat there naked in it, and I just kind of bathed in it for a hot minute. And I was like, I guess I'm gonna make a short film about it. You know, when you're young and 22 and you're creative and you're like, well, what else is there to do now? You know? So I just figured, hey, I gotta cope with this in some way. Instead of going on Indeed and looking for positions that I'm not gonna have for an hour, I'm just gonna get my camera out and press record and see what happens. And I wrote this whole script. I haven't wrote a script in a long ass time, not since my video class. My yeah, my AV video class. Jesus Christ. Back in the day, 4 years ago. 4 years ago, you know? 22. 4 years after high school. College dropout. But not the Kanye kind. More like the unsuccessful, doesn't have a job kind, you know? I'm kind of in that middle ground right now. But damn, see how easy it is for me just to go back into that mode of like I ain't shit. But you know, we're we're just trucking through this right now. But when are we aren't in this podcast, you know? Wrote a script, and so it's basically about it's a depiction of how I got let go from said job. And I'll recount. I'll go through the events with you, my guys. I'll give you a quick rundown. Wake up in the morning. I clock in. I feel like I'm too close to the mic, and I always feel that way. So just bear with me. 10 minutes already, Jesus. And we got nowhere, but just getting crunk to the delegations. But That's fine. Um, Wake up in the morning, clock in because we're working from home. So clocking in is just really just walking to my to the office room right next to me. I sit down. I turn on some Flagrant 2. If you don't know Flagrant 2, it's a really dope podcast. Look at me. The maximum 3 views podcast plugging this very successful podcast. Just how humble of me, how grateful Andrew Schultz is that he's getting the plug from Layman in the morning right here. You already know what's going on. You know how we coming. Just an anxious black kid who dances to the delegations with no viewers and just plugging this huge podcast, Just slowly trying not to lose my mind. But anyway, I was watching Flagrant 2, and Andrew Schultz is the host of that. He's a comedian from New York. He hosts a podcast with another comedian named Akash Singh, just like Indian comic, also from New York. And he's really, I don't know if he's from New York, but he does stand up in New York. Both really dope, hilarious podcasts. But anyway, I watch that every other morning. And Andrew had this prediction. Now, I will preface to the preface. The day prior, my manager, or the owner of the company, he hit me up. He emailed me. Jesus, stop being 22 for a second. He emailed me. He was like, "Hey, Xavier, we're gonna do a meeting. I need you to hop on this call, or whatever." I was like, "Okay, it's gonna be a group meeting. I guess we're just gonna catch up and see how everybody's been doing, since we all started working from home." Bet. Fast forward, I'm watching Flagrant 2. Andrew Schultz has this prediction about what's gonna go down with the Roni Baloney, and he's like, "I feel the next big wave," as he described it, is people are gonna get laid off of work. I swear to God, I'm watching that, and I was like, in my head, I'm looking at that, absorbed it, digested it, ate it with a fork, cut it up into tiny pieces, and I was like, yeah, sucks for them. And then I kept going on about my job. Maybe an hour or two later, it was time for the scheduled call, which turned out to just be me and my manager. And I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And he was like, "Hey, you're out of a job, I don't know. I actually forgot how he said it, but he answered the phone and he was like, "Hey, you no longer have reoccurring income." And I was like, "Well, actually, I didn't talk. I didn't talk for the longest time." He told me a bunch of things. He was like, "This is what's gonna happen. Um, I'm very sorry, but you got to sign some paperwork and stuff like that that tells us you won't sue the company or whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and he's telling me a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know if this was a part of the contract that I signed. I don't know if there's like a non-disclosure thing, but who watches this podcast? 2 weeks later, I get arrested. Um, anyway, he transfers me to the company that bought us out. A couple months ago, or that might have been last year. I don't know. Sometime last year, a company bought us out, and he transfers me to a guy there. And I don't give a, I can't give a shit about anything this guy's saying, but he's going through the motions with me, cause I'm like, oh, where the rent money go? Where's it gonna come from? I'm put on the corner, and this man is just telling me a whole bunch of things about he's like you're qualified for unemployment, you should go ahead and jump in line quickly. And I'm like, no shit. And he's just telling me all these things, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna transfer you back to the homie that let you go. And I was like, Jesus Christ, okay. And I mean, I'm not saying anything this whole time. It was probably like a 15-20 minute call, and I said nothing besides hey to the manager. And he transfers me back to homeboy, and I'm like, he's like, I know this is abrupt and everything, or he was like, do you have any questions? And I'm like, no. I don't know what to say, because I'm in shock, bro. And he's like, because this came out of the blue, my guy. I wasn't sad, I wasn't angry, I wasn't upset. I was just like, I I didn't know how to feel. It's kind of like me doing this podcast. So how I felt then is kind of like me doing this podcast. I was like, what's the next thing I'm gonna say? And it was just one of those things. Like, cause I don't know. I don't know either. We're all just watching this podcast. All three of y'all watching this podcast, and it's like, what's this man gonna say next? What's about to happen here? Hey, I don't know either. I don't know. But we're just along for the ride here. I brought my pick out. Hey, look all snazzy with my pick. But so he transferred me back to the owner of the company, the guy who cut off my income, the guy who's the reason I'm not unemployed, the guy who's the reason I made my short film. All love though. And he was like, yeah, do you have any questions? I was like, no. And he was like, yeah, I understand this is coming as a shock. This is very abrupt and out of nowhere, and I apologize. Oh, wait. No, you know what? When he said a whole bunch of stuff. I didn't talk for a while, but I did say something when he asked me if I had any questions. And no, wait. Damn, what actually happened? He asked me if I had any questions. I said no. Then he transferred me to the guy, and then before we hung up, he was like, "Is there anything you want to let me know?" Something like that. And I was just like, still dumbfounded, still in shell shock, just like after 20 minutes of just being kicked in the penis hole. I was just like, I hope my mom didn't hear that. I was just like, thank you for hiring me. I appreciate everything. Appreciate you for hiring me in the first place, and I wish the best of luck to you. But I was like a robot. I didn't know I was gonna say that. I mean, I wanted to say it. I honestly wanted to say that. I meant every word of it. It just wasn't. It wasn't stored in the database anywhere. It just kind of just came out. I was just like, thank you, because it's one of those things where it's like, how can I be mad? You guys hired me in the first place, and like changed my life in like ways you don't even know. I got this house that I didn't like for the first couple of months. I didn't buy the house, but I paid the direct deposit, which was too much. But not direct deposit, the down payment, whatever you call it. I'm 22. I'm young. I'm dumb. Renting this house from this apartment that we were in that my mom hated, and I was making my mom happy, and I'm able to pay half the rent and stuff like that. I can buy all the fake shoes that I want. I can buy all the pea stained starter jackets that I want, and life was changing for the better. And I was like, I can get used to this. I had an office, boy. Hey, let me tell you about my office. I actually can't tell you anything about my office. There wasn't much going on with the office. I just know I walked in that thing, and I was like, yeah, all me. I can pee in the corner and no one would know, because this is mine. This is my baby. Was my baby. And I had 2 screens and stuff. What y'all know about the having the 2 screens set up? And also, how long have I been holding this water without drinking it? I had the 2 screens set up. I had the new touchscreen computer. They said they were saving it for the new guy, and guess who is the new guy? Guess who was? Emphasis on was. If this is a Word document, was would be bolded. Was the new guy. Oh yeah. I didn't use that. I used it, but I didn't use the touchscreen part of it once. Kind of a waste of money on their side. So jokes on them. I didn't use your dumb technology. But anyway, back to my short film. The short film in its entirety is not in its entirety, but the first half is, like I said earlier, it's a depiction of that call that I had with my manager. And the first shot is me watching the podcast. I mean, go watch it, please. But in case y'all don't, which you won't, first shot is me watching the podcast of Andrew Schultz, and he's talking about, hey, the first big wave is young 22-year-old black kids who buy fake starter jackets getting laid off from their job, and I was like, well, that sucks. It never what happened to me though. And then my manager calls. He's like, hey, you ain't got no money, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And after that, it's it's basically me talking to myself, quite literally. I do like this little clone effect. I won't get into too many details about it, but I want to say the overall theme of the it's actually mad cold out here, but the overall theme of the short film is finding value and self-worth. And at this job, it was a fantastic job. The people were dope. The job itself was like fairly simple, and I was catching on easy, and everything about it was just dope, and it just seemed perfect, at the time for me. Weekends off after years of working retail. I never had weekends. I had two jobs for like a year, so I was like Monday through Sunday just booked up, bro. Good excuse to neglect my homies. And I don't know, everything worked out with this job. Got to see my grandma more. I love that, the PTO, because I'm a homebody if you don't know, which you don't. Just stay inside all day and listen to tight beats on YouTube. And it was one of those things where it's like when I did use my PTO hours, I would just go to Augusta, hang out with my grandma, and drop a mixtape with my cousin, and come back and back up that Brinks truck, as Chris D'Elia says. And it was one of those things, man, where it was really dope. And I guess I became, I don't know, my identity. So black people's weakness, pronouncing anything, my identity was becoming this job in a way. And I was not becoming this job, but like, because I wasn't in school, still not in school, mind you. Because it was one of those things where I was like, okay, I want to make films, I want to create stuff, I want to make just cool things. And I don't know if I need a degree for that. And I guess I'll know in the next like 10 years. But I wasn't in school. I wasn't doing much with my life besides working, I had many jobs. None of them correlated in any way. I would kick in your door and I would clean your carpet. I was washing dishes at IHOP. Before that, I was selling leather jackets that I would never wear at Wilson's Leather, his retail store. I was at Fox Racing, the BMX motocross place, which actually I really liked Fox. The people there were awesome. That's actually one of my favorite jobs ever, because I love the entire staff there. Shouts out to everybody at Fox Racing, and shouts out to Fox Racing for hooking up your employees with a fat ass discount. Hope my mom's not listening to that, but with a huge discount, because that's my whole wardrobe, baby. I mean, you know, if you watch this podcast, I'm foxed up head to toe. But what the hell was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was putting my value. I was putting my value and kind of my self-worth into this job, since I had nothing else to compensate for that. And I guess the overarching theme of the short film was like, hey, I'm more than, I guess I'll just say it verbatim how I said it in the short film. Please watch. I'm more than the money I make. I'm more than my accomplishments. I'm more than the job I have. Because it's an interesting thing. I think I was talking to my mom about this, but Mike Tyson, when he stopped, when he retired from boxing, he didn't know who he was. He had no sense of self, his identity. I'm gonna stop saying that, definitely, so I can keep my credibility up. But he didn't know who he was, because all he knew was Mike Tyson, the boxer. This is all I am. This is all I ever will be. And he was the biggest in the world, which was, I guess, kind of made it even worse in a way. And he was like, he described in his podcast, it's like, I don't know who I am anymore. And I didn't go through it in that kind of extreme. with this job, I didn't lose a sense of self, but it was kind of like, you know what I felt like? I felt like Oscar from Shark Tale. Now that this is a reach, but if you haven't seen Shark Tale, if you haven't seen Shark Tale, it's an animated movie about basically like fish in the ocean. Um, Will Smith was in it. Angelina Jolie voiced acted in it. I think Jack Black was in it. And that movie also is basically about finding yourself and finding who you are. Look at me, so excited and 22 years old, just so excited about this animated movie that Will Smith did. But that movie's also about just finding yourself, because the whole time, the entire throughout the movie, Oscar is this fish who just wants to make it big. I forgot how. I think he just, I don't know if it was like a career he wanted to go into or something like that. But he kept describing it as like, I just want to be somebody. I don't want to be some low life fish living at the, because he was like his dad was the equivalent of a car washer. He would just clean dolphins for the rest of his life or whatever. And Oscar, he saw that and he was like, I want to be, I want to be just like my dad, but then it turned into like I just want to, I want to have all this money. I want to have like respect, and I want to live at the top of the reef or something like that. I forgot how they described it in the movie, but he would look at this like building or whatever, and there would be like parties and stuff like that. And he was like, I want to live at the top of that thing. But I'm divulging too much about this movie that no one's seen. But it's basically that. And then Jack Black's character, he plays a shark that doesn't want to not be a shark, but because the rest of the shark family was like, hey, you got to eat these fish, you got to be mean. It was a bit kind of like a mafia. It's kind of like a mafia of sharks when I think about it. But he was like, I don't want to be that kind of shark. I just want to, I want to be myself. I just want to be me. And basically, I'll start talking about Shark Tale because like you guys are so interested. Oscar and the shark guy, they just wanted to be. Oh, Oscar wanted to be a somebody, and Jack Black's character wanted to find his self basically, or wanted to be himself. But that's basically what the short film is about. I think I flubbed that. I think I'm a cartoon character walking down the street and there's a banana peel and I just slipped on it for 30 minutes. That was this explanation, but you know, it's what you expect coming to this podcast. But that's what the short film was about. Just finding value and self-worth in myself, being happy for who I am. I'm more than Xavier who makes films. I'm more than Xavier who has a nice job. I'm more than Xavier who was a B average student, not really C average at most. I'm more than Xavier who did all these what could presume to be like cool things if I ever do. Like if I ever become a big director one day, a big film editor, if I go into acting or something like that, whatever kind of accomplishments I have or have already made, I'm more than that. I'm not Xavier the film editor. I'm not Xavier the dude who did dual enrollment in high school or whatever, or a dude who won some film contest, or a guy who had this really nice job that he no longer has. I'm Xavier who's capable of doing all those things, and I should find value in myself because I'm a person that's able to do those things. Not because I did those things. I'm not cool because of that, but it's because I'm able to do that. That bird's cheering me on right now. Thank you, bird. That bird's my hype man. But that's basically it. Did anyone get goosebumps during that? Did anyone get chills? Does anyone feel remotely motivated? Is anyone watching? That's about it. I mean, that was because like I said, I didn't feel exactly like Mike Tyson, but I felt like I was transitioning into that phase where I was like, who am I now, you know? Like, what am I doing with my life now if not this job? Yeah, it was just one of those things. And it's no, and I texted my manager this. It's no ill will towards the job. I started to feel like this at every position I had. There was like a point in time at every position I've had, even this one that was so cool and dope, where I'm just walking to the front door about to open it, and I'm like, God damn it. We're doing this again. We're doing this over again, you know? And I hated that feeling. And I was starting to have that feeling with this job. I was just kind of like, again, you know? It's like, Jesus. How many times can I delete a speeding ticket, you know? But that's the thing. There's so many people, obviously, so many people more successful than me that have that same exact goddamn it feeling when they go into whatever their position. There's so many people depressed and just like upset, and they have so much money, and by societal standards, everything, you know, they could want in life. I thought my camera was dying, but it's just a record sign. I'm an idiot. And those guys were still depressed. You got to think, Anthony Bourdain traveled the world eating whatever. And this is basically the Dave Chappelle bit, but he traveled the world, met new people every day, eating whatever the hell he wanted. Like, you knock on anybody's front door and it's like, hey, you want to go to Brazil and eat a hot dog and get paid for it? That person would be like, yeah, I guess so. And if you were like, you want to do that for the rest of your life, and they will be like, well, yes, this is my life. I will abandon my family and children to do this. It's like, obviously. And that dude killed himself, you know? And he killed himself. That's crazy. That's actually insane. Chester, what's his name? Who's the lead singer for Linkin Park? Chester Bennington? Chester. There's always, because I'll be editing these, and there's always some point in the podcast where where I have to look up a name. Chester Bennington, lead singer of Linkin Park. R.I.P. to him as well. He killed himself too, I'm pretty sure. And even if it doesn't reach to a point where you kill yourself, if you're on the stages before it where you're just depressed and sad and you don't know what to do, you know, there's many people who's like famous at that stage. Like Robin Williams. Robin Williams made the entire world smile, bro. He dressed as a woman and took a pie to the face. And we were all like, ha 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 ha. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna jump off a building now, or whatever he did. It's like, damn, son. Damn. So many people around you that just like love you and love what you do. You have to consider like maybe Chester and Anthony Bourdain also, and Robin Williams. Like Robin Williams is dead, right? Is he? I'm not gonna look it up. I think he is, but anyway, maybe not Robin Williams, but I mean, who knows who's dead nowadays? But these guys have no idea that they're changing people's lives every day, and they're just loved by so many. And it's one of those things where they have all the money they want, they have everything they want, and they just can't take it, whatever it is, whatever kind of stuff that's going on in their head. They're just still sad, and there's still that void that just nothing can virtually fill. I don't know why I said virtually, but it felt right. So just go with it. Yeah. And that's what I was trying to convey in the film. I didn't say all that stuff verbatim. I kind of took a Buddhist kind of I don't know, maybe pretentious kind of a Buddhist kind of like spiritual kind of approach to it. But I'm basically saying find value where it matters most. That's what I said in the film. And what I mean by that is find it within yourself. Be happy for who you are. Don't put it in all these external things. Because at the end of the day, like I said, Anthony Bourdain, Chester Bennington, and maybe Robin Williams, they had everything in the world. They had the money, the fame, and the success that they worked so hard for, and that still wasn't enough. So it's just to show you every day that yeah, that's not enough to make you happy. Because originally I was like, that damn it feeling that I had whenever I would clock into one of these jobs. It was like I decided, I was like, as of last year, I was like, I'm only gonna be happy if I'm doing what I want, because I have this feeling of like, God, I don't want to be here at every job I was at. I was just starting to reach that feeling. I was like, the days are starting to blend. It's dragging on. I'm doing the same thing especially in retail. In retail, there's like a script, bro. And I didn't care to get to know people. Unless I was, unless they seemed genuinely interesting, then I strike a conversation with them. But every day, bro, somebody walk in, I'm like, hey, how's it going? Oh, you're looking for a shirt? Buy one, get one half off. Buy one, get one for $10. Oh, you have a kid? Well, the kids are buy three, get one 50% off. Oh, you need a dressing room? Okay, I'm going to open the door here. Oh, you're not going to buy any of the shirts even though I talked to you for 2 hours? That's fine, sir. And then you do it again. Until you clock out, boy. Until you clock out, boy. That's it. And it was kind of the same. With my carpet cleaning job, I had a cool partner. So, slightly racist, but yeah, I had a cool partner that I would chit-chat it up with. That was one of my, not cooler jobs, but I really liked the guy I worked with. Because we kept it interesting on the rides to all the jobs. But the job itself, you walk in the door, it's like, hey, my dog peed in this corner, and I would like my living room clean. And it's like, okay. Then you go to another house, it's like, hey, my dog peed in that corner, and I would like my bathroom cleaned. And I was like, there's no carpet in the bathroom. And they're like, figure it out. And then you go to another job, and it's like, well, my dog didn't pee in the corner, but I would like the whole house cleaned, even though it's spotless. And I'm like, well, it's like, okay, that's cool. You know? It's like, all right. It's just one of those things. This got incredibly dark, but anyway. It's just how your boy feels. The reception I got, let's just go into that. Oh, we're at 38 minutes. You know what? Like I said, I be turning this camera on, having no idea what I'm gonna say, and it usually gets to a point where I'm like, oh shit, I haven't got to my topics yet. Stop moving the mic. The reception I got from the short film, for one thing, I put it on Snapchat and I put it on my Instagram, and I want to talk about this too. There's something really dope about, it's scary, but also there's something very dope about just vulnerability. And what I mean by that is, in terms of people knowing how you feel. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? No? Okay, I'll keep going. I put on Instagram, hey, I got fired from my job. I made a short film about it. Watch it. And that was it. No hashtags. Well, I put hashtag coping on my Instagram. But I put that on Snapchat. And I put that on Instagram. Just verbatim. Lost my job. Watch it. Well, lost my job. Made a short film. Watch it. And that was it. And I'm not clouded up. Hey, I know what you're thinking. Xavier, you're so handsome, you're so sexy, and you're not clouded up. I'm just not. I made a Snapchat the same time I made an Instagram, I think. my sophomore year in high school. So what's that? 2015, 2000, well, 13, I think. 2014, I believe, because I'm a sophomore, junior. So yeah, to about 2014, I was introduced to social media. I had a Facebook, but then old people started going through that, started joining, and I was like, well, this isn't a move. This just simply is not the move, because I don't want my mom to message me about like getting bread from the grocery store on Facebook. But anyway, yeah, it was just one of those things where I obviously don't have a lot of followers, but the people that do follow me are, just like close friends and stuff like that. And not even on Snapchat too. It's like I have like 5 or 6 close friends, and then the rest is just like, you know, acquaintances, just guys. You're just around, just peers. Shouts out to y'all, but I'm basically saying I told friends and strangers like, hey, and strangers, just discrediting everybody else. I told friends and nobodies that, hey, I got laid off from my job, watched my short film, and then people checked it out. But it's also the factor of there's also that little aspect of the sun being so in my eye right now. But there's also the aspect of people knowing that I lost my job, and people that haven't talked to me in a while. Their reintroduction to me is me not having a job anymore, and me not being in school. It's just making this like short film. I'm just a guy without a job, I mean, they don't know that much about me. They don't know if I'm in school or not, but they're like, maybe they thought once like, hey, how's Xavier doing? And then they see my post and it's like, oh, he doesn't have a job anymore. And obviously thousands of people don't have jobs, so it's like maybe they're not dwelling on it. I'm sure nobody's dwelling on it, but the simple fact that they know. And the short film, it's even after that, another layer piled onto it. It's kind of the short film itself is very vulnerable, because I'm obviously being vulnerable by telling people I'm out of work and whatnot, but I'm spitting some hard cold facts on the short film, which I won't talk about, but please watch. But it's one of those things too. So yeah, just vulnerability and just coping. That's basically it. I really want to get into some topics. Hold on. So where are we at? Well, watch my short film. Just watch it. We're 43 minutes, and I guess I really wanted to talk about Jesus, I still have Chester Bennington pulled up. It's depressing. Let's close that tab. I want to do a reaction, actually. New Jersey firefighter channels Wu-Tang Clan for COVID-19 diss track. Do you guys want to listen to that? No? Okay, we're playing it. A COVID-19 diss track, This reminds me of when Lupe Fiasco had the Fuck Cancer campaign. It's kind of dope when it's like a disease, because then you can say anything you want to it. You're like, hold on, let me load this up. Oh, my phone is definitely about to die, but we're just gonna get through this. It's like leukemia. Eat my butthole. You can just openly say that, and people are like, well, it is leukemia. Pancreatic cancer. Suck my butt. It's like, oh, well, it is. This is pancreatic cancer. He's allowed to say that. You can call any kind of cancer the N-word if you wanted to. It's like, well, it is cancer. It deserves to. All right, here's the.
EMS1 responsible medical. Take COVID-19 precautions.
Is this man about to go in? What did this guy just go?
Virus ain't nothing to be stuck with. Wuhan virus ain't nothing to be stuck with. The Wuhan virus ain't nothing to be stuck with. There's no place to hide when we step inside the room. Boys in blue, prepared for this doom, and damn, we'll scram to ya, fam. Yes, ma'am, and serve with healing hands. We respond to the helpless, our style is selfless. Answering COVID calls, which are endless. And the survey says you had quarantine.
And the survey says you had. Oh. is this man? Is this an? This guy's kind of killing it. And here's the thing. He, like I said earlier, it's the cheat code because it's a disease. No one's gonna be in the comment section like, "Hey, this is trash." Because, okay, people are gonna be like on your head, like, "Okay, are you supporting the virus? Are you down for the sickness? Literally, are you down for the sickness, bro?" Like, what's happening here? He can only win in this scenario. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like if you fight a midget or a tiny person.
Spread, or we'll be back. Hey, yo, the flu is back, making people go, lungs are attacked, symptomatic. Oh no, here comes a fever that's erratic, results are traumatic. Put the pedal to the metal, we arrive in a team to pick up your loved one, then we flee in the scene. Force the clear blue yonder, line the state line.
Bro, I can't, bro. let's listen to 30 more seconds. This is actually way better than I assumed. Hold on, let me read the article though real quick. A 41-year-old New Jersey firefighter is tapping into his love for Wu-Tang Clan in an effort to relieve some COVID-19 stress in his community. First of all, I would like, if I could be like a fly on the wall on this guy's thought process. Like, this man's 41 years old and he's a firefighter, and he just wakes up like I guess I gotta make a diss track against this shit. I don't know. Like, I want to know the chain of thoughts that led him to getting the Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to Fuck With instrumental and just writing a diss song to it. What led him to that point? You know? What got him there? You're 41 years old and you're saving lives for a living, but you gotta go in the booth and diss this virus. Like, how did we get here? I guess it doesn't matter how, because the end result is fantastic.
We administer care so people can survive. Now why would you test? Advice from the press. Stand 6 feet away to ensure success. Gotta play it safe and don't congregate so you and my crew never meet face to face. Please take heed to avoid the roughness. Wuhan virus ain't nothing to be stuck with. Straight from Jersey where the numbers.
Wuhan virus ain't nothing to be stuck with. The flip, bro. That's hard. This man isn't. What's his name? Michael Sarno. Michael Sarno, you're invited to the goddamn cookout. Wuhan virus ain't nothing to. We're done with that page. We're done. We're done. That's the end of it. Hold on. Where are we at right now? We're still at We're at 47 minutes. Jesus Christmas. I probably should have dragged that out more, but damn. Shouts out to Michael Sarno. I already forgot his name. Wuhan virus ain't nothing to be stuck with. That's some tunes for your head top, homie. That mess is hard. In other news, Tyler, the Creator, and Jaden Smith are dating. I don't know if I want to be stuck on that, though. I don't know if I want to talk about that. I remember Jaden was like, shouts out to my boyfriend Tyler when he was at Camp Flognar or something like that. And every time that happens, Tyler is just on the side somewhere, just like, Tyler, come on, bro. Let us know, bro. Tyler, be honest. I mean, he's already been honest, but he's not divulging what all the stuff that Jaden is talking about. I feel like they smashed one night, and like Tyler was like, all right, you're going to keep this on the low, right? And Jaden was like, yes. And Tyler was like, you're not going to tell anybody? And Jaden was like, yes. And he was like, you're not going to say anything weird at my concert? And Jaden was like, yes. And then the night of the concert happens, and he's like, yeah, by the way, that nigga right there, I'm smashing. And Tyler's like, whoa, ah! It's okay if they smashing. I don't mind it. Not weird, not uncomfortable at all. I'm cool with gay people. It's, I don't mind it. It's just funny seeing Tyler's reaction during the whole Jaden spewing out all this stuff. Because it's like, and also Jaden's just weird as it is, so you can't tell if he's like trolling or not. But, he's also a person that will wear a Batman costume to what was it, Kanye's wedding? So it's kind of like, I feel like anything he feels strongly about, it's sincere, if that makes sense. I guess another Tyler, just let us know if you're smashing. because it will be fine. Insert your creative genes into Jaden. No pause on that. No pause, because we cool with the gays out here. Hey, you gay? Come to the barbecue with me and Michael Sarno. Wuhan virus ain't nothing to mess with, I swear to God. Damn, boy, put that on a t-shirt. I guess in other news, Drake dropped the thing. He's calling it a mixtape, I'm pretty sure. And I think I had this discussion on either episode 3 or 4. If it's on streaming services and it's not on that piff, then it's not a mixtape, my boy. If I gotta pay for it, it's not a mixtape. If it ain't free, it's not a mixtape. If it's not $0, it's not a mixtape. Okay, Aubrey? All right. I'm glad we had that discussion. Now, here's the thing. Everybody was anticipating this. No one knew that this tape was coming out, but everybody was anticipating a single on the tape, which is called Pain 1993 with Playboy Cardi. And I listened to the tape. I listened to it about twice. No, I listened to it once, most of the way through, because I listen to I work out early in the morning, and I listen to Jesus Christmas. I listen to 4 albums as I'm working out, usually like new ones, and I listened to that one as I was working out, and it was kind of in the background. But I didn't even pay attention when Pain 1993 came out. I didn't even know which track it was. I'll tell you what is hot before I get on that ass, or Playboy Cardi's ass. No pause, cool with the gays. I'll tell you what. From Florida with Love, I kind of want to play just a little bit of it. I'm not gonna play it because YouTube's gonna, YouTube's gonna lay down to smack it down on me. But From Florida with Love, easily the best song on there. And also, Drake's production on this is actually very interesting, and also not at all interesting. Oh, my phone's about to die. I want to look at this track list real quick, though. Please let me look at this track list, phone. Please, por favor. Por favor. For the band. Who's singing Scott Pilgrim? Deep Pockets is such an interesting... That's the first track on this tape. Deep Pockets is such an interesting beat. It's so muffled and just kind of like... It's kind of just that loop throughout, and it's like, whoa. It's very watered down and like lo-fi, and I'm like, the first time porch is like wet, and it's not raining, so I have questions, Jesus. Just losing my mind, definitely. Deep Pockets. It's a very weird beat. The first thing I thought about was Earl's Sweatshirt. I was like, dude, Earl would body this beat. But also, why am I having that thought on a Drake album? On a Drake, yeah, no, I was about to correct myself and say mixtape, but that wouldn't be correcting myself, because it's not free, nor on DatPiff, nor on $0. The website $0. It's not on there, Aubrey. So it's an album. Get it together. Very weird beat, Deep Pockets. I enjoyed it, though. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm down for the weirdness. Not down with the sickness. Shout out to Michael Sarno. But I'm down for the weirdness. And, I don't know. I don't have much to say about that track. I don't know what he was rapping about. I need to go into the lyrics. Maybe not, because who goes into lyrics for Drake albums? But I thought that was dope. I don't know if 40 produced that, but it was just a very... Well, maybe it's not that weird, because Drake's main thing, Drake's niche is these watered down R&B samples, R&B sample loops. You have Western Road Flows. Damn, what's another example of that? The outro from his collaboration with Future, which no one remembers. What a Time to Be Alive. He does that a lot, basically. Time Will Tell. That's not a song name. Damn, what's that one from More Life? And doesn't matter. Shouts out to that sample, by the way. I think that's Snow Allegra, I think. Doesn't know the lyrics, but you know, it's still a vibe. And that song too. But I just want to roast Pain 1993. Shout out to Drake for having weird beats, but also Pain 1993 is it's boring. It's also boring, and if I didn't mention it before, it's boring. And people are listening to it. They're like, Drake did good, and I'm like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. And then they get to Cardi's verse, and they're like, wow, this was a letdown, because apparently there was like a leak or whatever, and this was supposed to come out like a week ago, and people were so hyped for this song, and they didn't know whether it was going to be a single or on a project, and they were like, oh my god, Cardi sounds great on this, and there was just a whole bunch of hypeness behind it, and I listened to it. Well, first of all, people listened to it. They were disappointed by Cardi's verse, not the song, mind you. The song is like A-okay by these asshole standards, and they enjoyed Cardi, or they didn't like Cardi's verse. They said it was a letdown, and I'm like, hey boy, the whole thing is a letdown. This isn't a good song, my guy. First of all, Playboy Cardi isn't good. Like Lil Uzi, I mean, I'm not gonna put him in that mumble rap category. I'm not even gonna. I don't want to make a whole mumble rap argument or whatever. If you're bad, you're bad, bro. Whether you mumble or not. And Playboy Cardi, I will say a really hype, like a really dope Playboy Cardi song is I'm R.I.P. 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 is so dope. Mainly because for one thing, the beat is very interesting. I really like that beat, and I really like his approach to it. Look, here's the thing. I'm down for the weird voices. I'm down for the high pitched nasalness. I'm down for you talking about how you're gonna take my bitch, but that's fine. I'm okay with it. Hey, Cardi, Uzi, Trippy Red, you can take my bitch. I don't have a bitch to take, but just you know, if I had one, you could take her. I don't care. You know, I'm good. I got X videos. I'm good. I'm good. Do what you want. But you know, if the end product is bad, if it's bad, it's bad. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't care how you're. I mean, well, it does come down to how you're rapping too and everything. But it's just the if the final product of the song you make is bad, I'm gonna say it's bad. I'm not. What I'm trying to say now is I'm not solely basing it on your subject matter. You can rap about whatever you want, but if you rap about like taking my bitch in a cool way, then you get a pass. But if you fail in that regard, then you know what are we doing here? You're kind of just wasting my time. And he has this very squeaky like baby kind of. Hold on. His voice is ridiculous on this, which I don't mind his voice, but the execution, the overall execution was just bad. He wasn't flowing in any kind of interesting way. His voice was already high, so I couldn't tell what he was saying. At least on R.I.P., you could like interpret what he was saying, and he has this really cool line. He was like, "Made a meal for my mama off that mumbling shit," and I was like, "Ooh, talk like we're at a poetry slam. Ooh, talk yo." I can barely snap right now because it's so goddamn cold outside, but you know what I'm trying to do. Ooh, talk your ish, Cardi. Talk your ish. Go off, queen. That's what I was like. Made a meal off my mama off that. Made a meal for my mama off that mumbling shit. Ooh, talk about it, Cardi. That's the stuff I want to hear him talk about. Cause he leans into it. He admits it. He's like, yeah, I don't talk about nothing. Yeah, I have a baby voice, and yeah, I'm gonna take your chick 2 times over. I'm not talking about nothing. And I bought a house for my mom off of it. What are you gonna do about it? And I'm like, respect. Where are we at? Ooh, we're at 59. We're about to hit an hour. You know, this is my favorite part, hitting an hour. I'm not gonna play it. I'm not gonna play Paint 1993 because it's not worth the time. Drake's verse was boring. Cardi's verse was boring. The beat, shouts out to Pierre, but also not a shout out. He sucks too. Everything about that song is just very underwhelming. And I don't know. I don't think my standards are that high. I listen to mumble rap. I listen to Cardi. I listen to Uzi. I listen to Trippy. I listen to everybody under the sun. Who cares if the end product is good? Then it's good. I'm lifting my shirt so much, but it's like it's kind of chilly out. I'm sorry. I gotta wipe my nosers. Um, damn, bro. I don't get why people like Pain 1993. And what does that title mean? What Drake? Arby, explain. Pain 1993. What? Just rename it Bad 2020 because that's what the song is, And I feel like we can end it there. Yeah, we hit an hour. There's this trend with my podcast where I ended at an hour and 4 minutes. That's happened like 3 times here, but I don't know. I don't think I can shit on this song for more than however much time has lapsed. Yeah, we're just hanging out, and I'm pretty sure my mom watched me through the window this entire time of me doing this podcast. I kind of forgot she was here, and now I'm becoming very consciousness of it and thinking back about everything I said, and it's like, was this appropriate? Was this too weird? Is my mom gonna think I'm a different person because of this podcast? I don't know. Who knows? I guess we'll know when I walk inside. I kind of want to keep talking so she can go upstairs and we can just not talk about what's going on out here. But I don't know. This is my thing. Like I said. Oh, and I got a new bird. We got a new bird feeder too. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see it. Yeah. Oh yeah. I call this guy Big Daddy. All right. I'm not gonna edit that out. But just pretend I didn't say it. But it's a big boy. It's a big boy. The birds, and I ended on here, not paying 1993. Let's end it on a high note, because I feel like I ended the last couple podcasts on a low note. It's been low enough, me talking about Robin Williams may be dead. I don't know. I will confirm that as soon as I turn the camera off. But yeah, these birds, these little a-holes, they'll fly. Because you already know, or maybe you don't. You definitely don't if you don't watch the podcast. But we had a different bird feeder, which they were very used to. It was a simple format. Yeah, you guys seen it. I'm not going to explain it. But the birds, they approach this one, and they have no idea what to do. And it's actually hilarious. I could, maybe for an hour, I'll give you a solid hour of my life. I promise you. I can sit down and watch these birds be confused about what to do with this thing for an hour. It is so funny because I know there's food here. I know there's food present. I can smell it. I can see it. It's right here. But I don't know if I got to enter a password. I don't know if I have to do an open sesame. I don't know if it's like the James Bond doors where do I have to put in my fingerprint? What's going on here? And they just look so confused. And eventually they get on it and stuff their hungry little faces. But God, it's so cute when they fly on that thing and they're like, well, I guess I got to get a goddamn skeleton key to open this thing because I don't know how to get these C's. But yeah, I just thought that was adorable. Dude, buying a bird feeder has brought so much life to the backyard, and I feel like I'm so close to the mic still, but it doesn't matter because we're gonna end this shit anyway. Are we at 4 minutes? No, we're at 3. I kind of just want to keep. You know what? I kind of just want to do a New Year's countdown until we get to 4 minutes because that is a trend. I actually can't tell because the sun's in my eye, and this is that content that you came for, baby. But I think we hit 4 minutes. So you already know the Dizio. Pain 1993 sucks. R.I.P. Robin Williams, maybe. And my name's Xavier. This has been Layman in the Morning. Thank you for watching. Peace.